Well, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and I'm coming to you from my back patio today. And it's just a nice day. I thought I'd sit outside and see about telling you another story. This will be a firefighter story. Now, about a week ago, when we were camped up on top of the mountain there, I shot a video talking about a firefighter story about our support rehab unit that we had back when I was still with the fire department. And last night I was doing channel maintenance, and I don't know how I managed to do it, but I managed to delete that video. I didn't intend to do it, but it sort of happened, and I couldn't get it back. So if you watched that video and wondered where it went, that's what happened to it. Somehow or other, I tossed it in the trash can and couldn't retrieve it. And so this is the second time I did that. I did that a while back on a video as well. So, I'm not an expert at this yet, and I somehow managed to push the wrong button. But anyway, so I thought I'd tell you another firefighter story to make up for it. And this one also involves a support rehab group. And if you didn't watch that other one, let me tell you real briefly what that was. We had a small fire department here in the community I live in, and we had a small core group of full-time personnel, and the rest of it was made up of a pretty dedicated group of reserve firefighters, or we call them POC, for paid on call. And anyway, that was the backbone of the department. And the small paid group, we kept everything running, kept everything operating, but when we needed manpower, we could set off the pagers, and we could get 25 people or so, and that was pretty good. That worked in those days. They don't even do that anymore here, and I think it's kind of a shame, but that's a video for another story. But as a part of that, we also had a volunteer group that was made up mostly of wives of the firefighters, and there was a few other folks in the community that were interested in helping us out that were involved there too, but primarily it was wives, and that was called support rehab. And their job was whenever we had a long duration incident where we needed scene support, we'd call them out, and they would come out. We had an old state surplus bus, actually came from Department of Corrections. It was a short bus that they'd keep all their equipment in, and it provided a place where we could get in and out of the weather. If it was raining or if it was cold, they had a heater, and if it was warm, they had an air conditioner. And a bunch of them were EMTs, and they provide medical monitoring. And so whenever we had a long duration incident, we're going to need food and water and a place to take a break and that sort of thing, we'd call support rehab out. Well, the story I'll tell you today actually involved them, and my wife was a part of that organization, and this particular incident involved my wife. So we had a fire in an outlying jurisdiction, and they called us for assistance, and it was a pretty well-involved fire, middle of the afternoon, if I remember correctly. And we got the fire knocked down, and the people that lived in the house, it was a family, and they lost everything they owned. And so my wife was out there as a part of the support rehab group, and she was talking to the family, and it was the mom and she had some kids, and one of them was a little boy. And while my wife was talking to the little boy, I should say, he looked at her in a very serious face, and he says, "I know what happened. My mommy got really mad at my daddy, and she took all his clothes and piled them on the couch and set them on fire." Well, all of a sudden, my wife went from supporter to witness, and so she just said, "Well, you sit right here and let me get somebody else that needs to hear your story." So she told one of the firefighters, and the firefighter went and told one of the sheriff's deputies, and the sheriff's detective came over, and the little boy told him what happened. And to make a long story short, it wasn't very much after that. Mom got led away in handcuffs and put in a police car. And we knew what happened to that fire, because little kids don't lie. And I'm sure that little boy didn't want to see his mommy go to jail, but in the same token, he felt he needed to tell somebody what really happened. So, like I say, my wife went from on-scene support to witness real quick and did the right thing, and the perpetrator got arrested, and that was the end of that tune for that call. But just a little short one. I've got everything ready to go for tomorrow, and as I've mentioned in my post this morning, my surgery's tomorrow, and I'm trying not to stress over it. I've got the truck ready to go. I'm going to take the dog over to the babysitter here in just a few minutes, and just trying to do something, get my mind on something else. So I figured I'd tell you a little story. And so wish me luck for tomorrow. And if you want to say a prayer for me, prayers are always appreciated. And hopefully everything will go all right. I just being me, I tend to stress about things a little bit, especially something that big. It's no joke. So hopefully we'll be talking to you again real soon at the other end of this thing, and we'll tell you some more stories and get into some more adventures. As you know, I'm going to be laid up for a little bit, but I think it is going to be what it is going to be, and I think the Lord has a plan, and we'll follow His plan wherever it leads. So for right now, I'll tell you, as I always do, take care of each other, love each other, take care of yourself as well. You're the most important person in your life. And we'll talk to you again on the next one. So right now, I'm just going to tell you, peace out.